Hello, I'm in pajamas, my hair is messy, and I'm waiting on the results of a COVID test. So let's go over my June TBR. My dog is worried about my mental health. It's okay, I am too. Alright, so just like every month, I have overcommitted and I'm behind. I'm severely behind. I'm so behind that I shouldn't be making this video. It's Monday. I don't film on Mondays. But here we are because I have anxiety. And also I have a lot of books. I'm kind of excited for this month. I am doing a couple of different things. First of all, I'm reading, which is different. Something that, sometimes I normally don't do. But also, before I get into the books that I'm on tour for, here's a thing that I printed off Bookish First. Bookish First is a website where you can give your first impressions of like the synopsis or a book cover, and or I usually give both in one. And you're basically entered in a raffle to win. I don't know if they're international or not. That's something that you're going to have to check out. Bookish First isn't sponsoring this video. I wish. They're pretty nice, and I've gotten a few free books from them, so thanks. I also have one up there that I actually need to read. I'm too lazy to go get it. It's We All Fall Down. I got like a hardback cover. It's cool. But they usually do these monthly things because they are point-based. So you can enter the raffles to win books. Or you can do a couple of things on their websites, like submit your reviews and your links for reviews and stuff. You get so many points. You get basically a free book from them. There's a couple of different qualifiers for that. You have to check that out because I don't know them off the top of my head, but one of them to get a couple of points is to do their little monthly bingo board. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to submit my Yes, I'm going to submit this blank. I'm going to submit my completed bingo board to them at the end of June and get a couple of points. The bingo board is on the video because I know you can't read this. But it has prompts like blue cover, character is a part of a club, LGBTQ romance by a queer author, etc., etc. I'm going to use the books that I'm on tour for, plus the books for the other readathon that I'm doing, to complete those. Because I don't know, you could call this cheating, I call this reading, I don't know. But here are the books that I am on tour for in June. There's a bunch. Starting off with June 1st, I have a note here that I'm going to start the Counselor's Buddy Read with Ethan. I don't know if that's going to go through on the 1st. I don't know if we're going to I'm going to try. We're trying to do buddy reads, but I have 2 big stacks of books that are at least like a foot tall over there, so I don't know if we're going to get to it. But we're going to try the Counselors. I'm really excited for that. That comes out tomorrow. Very excited for it. I've never read a Jessica Goodman book, but every book of hers has blood on it. I'm intrigued. Why is she a murdery person? I don't know. Anyways, I'm on tour for A Little Bit Country. Super excited about that. Basically, I'm just going to give like little elevator pitches for these. Basically, it is a queer romance. One of them is a country superstar, I believe, or trying to be a country superstar, but it basically takes place at a fairground. So, fairground, summer, queer romance. What screams June more than that? The second is Places We've Never Been, which it looks like a road tripping romance, and it's by Kasie West, so it's going to be good. Out of the Blue, which looks like a pool summer romance. That one's also queer. It involves mermaids. I'm loving it. Also, one of the characters is plus size. Love it. Seriously, like, please, just put some meat on your characters. Literally. Please. It's not that hard. Not everyone's super skinny. Have you ever looked outside? Anyways, the 4th, I'm doing Slip, which is a middle grade graphic novel. I have an addiction to middle grade graphic novels at the moment, so this is right up my alley. The 5th is I Want to Be a Vase. I don't know much about this except that it's a picture book, and apparently this plunger wants to be a vase, and you know, if he wants to be a vase, he can be a vase. I'm hoping it goes into recycling, and also about trans rights. Recycling and trans rights. I'm also due for Murder for the Modern... where am I going? Try this again. Murder for the Modern Girl, which is apparently trying to murder me. I don't know. I just know that murder's in the title, and the cover looks really cool. I'm not due for anything until the 10th next week, which is Hell Followed With Us, which has a trans and or non-binary character in it. And also post-apocalyptic looking. Say no more. Queer and end of the world. Love it. I'm also due on the 11th for a Game of Strength and Storm. It looks fantastic. I believe that one's also queer, but I'm not entirely sure. But it gave me, I don't remember what it's about, but it gave me Game of Thrones vibes when I read the synopsis quickly. Of course, I really don't read the synopsises very well, so that might just have been my impression of the cover. I don't know. Anyways, the 12th is Before Takeoff. From the look of the cover, because I don't remember what the synopsis is about, the look of the cover has me believing that this is going to be set in an airport, and twisty-windy stuff happens. I'm feeling Jumanji vibes from this. I don't know why. Feeling Jumanji, though. I'm also doing a post for Queer Bookstagrammer on the 12th. I don't know why you have to know that, but hey, look for my post. Anyways, the 13th, I'm due for The Ragged Valley. I believe that this was pitched to me as an Amish romance. I don't know why I'm fascinated in Amish romances, but here we are. Apparently, I want queer and Amish. Those usually don't go hand in hand, but queer and Amish, I don't know. Anyways, Curse of the Specter Queen, I am rereading. Well, no. I am reading because I've not read it before because I am on tour for Rise of the Snake Goddess on the 16th. Very excited. Very excited. I don't know what these books are about except Indiana Jones feel. Indiana Jones. Anyways, the 20th, Never Coming Home, which the author... Oh, shoot. So sorry about that. My dog, my young dog, my puppy. Hello. Hello, baby. She saw a cat. Apparently this cat and her are mortal enemies. She started raising hell. My dog, my senior dog, the love of my life, my dog soulmate, if you will. The one and only. If I didn't have Ethan, she would be it. Poor thing, she can't get in the window because she has short ass legs. She relies on the puppy to tell her when there's something wrong, except that the puppy always thinks that there's something wrong. Sorry. Anyways, the 20th, Never Coming Home. I was contacted by Kate Williams for to review this book. I love Kate Williams. She did the Babysitter Coven series. I still have to read the last one. No spoilers. But this one, I don't know why, but it's giving me old from M. Night Shyamalan vibes. Basically, there's this luxury resort. People go there. And apparently our main character finds herself bloodied on a beach according to this cover. It looks deadly. I'm loving it. I like deadly vacations. Anyways, also that day I'm due for The Dust of the Red Rose Night. This is actually a pretty cool book. I don't know that much about it except it's fantasy. But this book is written to help people with dyslexia because of the way that the font's written. So I'm going to try that out. I don't have diagnosed dyslexia. But I have noticed throughout my life, like test taking and stressful moments and stuff like that, I sometimes can't read the words blue, blue, blue away. Or are they upside down? The upside down words are when I can tell that I am super stressed. And then rounding off the month, I have The Many Daughters of Afong May due on the 28th. I don't remember much about this book because I was contacted to read it in November. But the cover looks really cool. Also, on the 29th, I am reading Feather and Flame, which is book 2 of the Queen's Council. The first book of the Queen's Council was Rebel Rose, which concentrated on the aftermath of Belle taking the throne. Technically, she wasn't a princess. She was like a lady? I don't know. Anyways, after she married Adam, the aftermath, you know, I don't know if you realize, but during the time of Beauty and the Beast, when that book is set, there was a little thing right after called the French Revolution, where people who, you know, took all the wealth and told people to just eat cake, which sounds very familiar to modern times in America, were beheaded by guillotine. I'm just saying. Anyways, yeah, it was really interesting. I actually really liked that. And it was Emily Theriault. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. I'm sorry. I think it was her debut. She did really good. This one, Feather and Flame, is by Liv Blackburne, because if there's nothing else that Disney likes, it likes to have multiple authors contribute to a series, which sometimes pays off well, sometimes doesn't pay off well. I don't know how this one's going to pay off. I'm going to read it though. But basically this one is Mulan, and it's the aftermath of what happens with Mulan. So I'm intrigued. I like Mulan. Mulan's one of my favorite Disney princesses. Technically she's not a princess, but she damn well deserved to be. She deserved to be damn empress, okay? After all the hell she went through, she deserved to be empress. Not married to the emperor, but, you know, just raise it, her single self. Just, yeah, you know, anyways. I'm also due for The Last Fallen Moon, which is book 2 of the Gifted Clan series. I believe it's Gracie Kim. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm so sorry. There's 2 Gracies now. Well, there's one Grace, or does she go by Gracie? I don't know. Anyways, it's the book 2 of the Gifted Clan series. I'm very excited. I love Riley. I love. Best cinnamon roll. I love her. I love her spirit. Love her personality. Like, one of my favorite middle grade characters is Riley O. And I would do anything to protect her. If she were an actual child and under my roof, I'd do anything to protect her. But she's going to have to go face some demons again, and that's going to make me very, very, I don't want her to get hurt. Anyways, that's it for all the tours in June. So let's get to the fun thing now. Not saying that those won't be fun, but I am participating in Dessertathon for June, which is happening June 1st through 30th. Basically, it's an offshoot kind of Dessertathon, except some people kept calling it Dessertathon. So here we are. There's 6 different teams. I'm joining the Pastry Pirates because 1, I like pastries, and 2, I like pirates, and 3, I want to go on an adventure in the Great Wide Somewhere. And to never grow, I tried really hard to remember a Peter Pan quote here, but that did not work out. Anyways, the way that it works is that your team, my team, the Pastry Pirates, we all have desserts that we have to make. Ours is an apple turnover. We have ingredients that we need. The apple turnover, it needs puff pastry, flour, apples, brown sugar, cinnamon, salt, and egg. Oh look, my COVID test is up. Let's go check. Hey! You're probably wondering why I did a COVID test. Well, my husband's coming home from Illinois and he's been around people. But also Thursday, we were also around people because of my husband's cousin's graduation. I did not go to said graduation in the building, neither did he. But his father-in-law that we hung out with at the house and watched the live stream with, he had just been in surgery. Hospitals are really bad places where you can get COVID nowadays. So, you know, I took it to see if I still needed the quarantine from him. He's going into quarantine when he gets home because I don't want the ick. I don't want it. But yeah, besides that, anyways, we're back to the apple turnover. Now that that excitement's over. We need puff pastry, flours, apples, brown sugar, cinnamon, salt, and egg. Now, here's the thing, is that each of the prompts are listed on the ingredients. There's basic ingredients, and then there's unique ingredients, which all of them have unique ingredients in. So you can't escape it. It's some points for doing the genre read, which I'm going to do. It's like 5 points or so. I can't remember how many points for every ingredient that you get. And then completing the group dessert is like 80 points, and completing an additional one is 50 points. And because that was not the COVID test alarm, that was the drink water alarm, because I've not drank water Drink water, people. Anyways, because I like to inflict pain upon myself, I'm doing an additional dessert. But yeah, so once you complete a prompt for, let's say, milk, you don't need to keep doing milk for every dessert that you do. You just have your supply of milk. You have every supply for anything that you need. So I wrote it all down in my horrible handwriting in this books to read section of my always fully booked planner. So the team genre, they don't really have defined genres. This one is fantasy or something that's adventurous or piracy, something like that. So I chose Rule by Ellen Goodlett. This is a fantasy. This is the second book. In the first book, there was these 3 people that were found to have been heirs to the throne. It's kind of leaning into like that 3 Dark Crowns thing where there's a sibling group or such and they have to fight for the crown. Same gist, and I think at the end of the last book someone died. I can't remember. Probably gonna have to refresh myself on that. Anyways, I'm looking forward to this. I've had this for like 2 years. For the first ingredient of the apple turnover, we're going to need a puff pastry. And a puff pastry requires, where did it go? A puff pastry is puffed up and a hyped book. So I chose Crave by Tracy Wolff. Was this the best decision? No. Is this a chunker? How many pages are you again? You're over 500. You're like almost 600 pages. But I really want to read it. It's a hype series. I want to know what makes Tracy Wolff write so many books. Did you see the last time that she had a set of books out? She was doing like 3 a year. Like Tracy girl. Or however you identify. I'm sorry. Tracy person. Why you gotta be Alexander Hamilton? How do you write like you're running out of time? Anyways, the next ingredient is flour. Not the cute one from Bambi, but this one, the white powdery one that gets all over my kitchen. It's back to basics. Favorite genre? My favorite genre is dystopian. So I chose The 11th Plague by Jeff Hirsch, which is, I believe, about zombies. America is a vast, desolate landscape, left ravaged after a brutal war. 2/3 of the population are dead from a vicious strain of influenza. Wow, this sounds like COVID. People called this sickness the 11th plague. Yep, that sounds like COVID. End of the world. Love it. Anyways, the next ingredient that we're going to need is apples. For apples, it is in season. And this is a book that is set in the summer or autumn. So I went with People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. I like Emily Henry. I actually met her. She's super nice. And since she's gotten into the adult genre and I really liked A Million Junes, I'm going to give her adult books a chance. But basically this is about 2 best friends. I think it's a friends to lovers romance and they go on vacation all the time and stuff happens. Anyways, very excited for this. It's also set in summer, or at least I hope so because they're in bikinis. The next ingredient that we will need is brown sugar. For this one, we need a book with low or no expectations for the book. So I have All Our Hidden Gifts by Carolyn O'Donoghue. I randomly picked this up at a Barnes & Noble's because they said, hey, the book that you're buying, which I think was, I can't even remember. Oh, it was last night at the Telegraph Club. I was trying to buy one last night at the Telegraph Club, and they were like, hey, this qualifies for a buy one, get one 50% off. So which book do you want 50% off? And I'm like, I don't know. Why don't you give me a spiel about them? And she started going off. And I'm like, that one has witches. I have no expectations. I have no idea what this is about. Except it has witches and it looks like a tarot card. There we go. The next ingredient that we will need is cinnamon spices. Spice up your TBR. So for this one, I picked The North Wind by Alexandria Warwick. Why? Well, one, I kind of want to get it out of my TBR. But 2, I heard that this is fantasy romance. And from the spicy book that was included, the other spicy book that was impersonating another book that was in the Once Upon a Book Club box, I'll leave a link for that video down below if you're wondering what I'm talking about. By the looks of that, it looks like it's going to be spicy. I also read some excerpts they were a little spicy. So yes, this is my spicy read. It's also a thicken. This was not a good idea. The next ingredient is salt. And the theme of this video now is this was not a good idea, but we're still going to go with it because we like pain. Anyways, salt is salty. Of course. It's also for the prompt tearjerker. I picked up Unpregnant for this prompt by Jenny Hendricks and Ted Kaplan. One, because it's going to deal with pregnancy. It's also soon to be movie, and also because I might want to slip this to my mother-in-law, or a copy of it if I really want to keep this one, to convince her of, you know, women's choice. We're here for that. If you're not here for that, go away. Anyways, I'm expecting this to be a tearjerker. The last ingredient that we will need for our apple turnover is eggs, in the theme of In a Dozen, which is part of a series for this prompt. So I picked Of Ice and Shadows by Audrey Colehurst. Why? Well, I read Of Fire and Stars, which was actually my very first LGBTQ read. And I actually didn't know that going into the book. I read it, I fell in love with it, and I've been trash for sapphic romance ever since. So I thought it was only appropriate that in June I read the sequel finally and get back to the original duo that opened my eyes and my heart to LGBT romance. Absolutely love this author, and I'm very, very, very excited because I would not be probably who I am today if I hadn't read that first book. So yeah, very sentimental. Maybe this one should be the tearjerker. I don't know. Anyway, now remember the theme of this video is Paige likes pain. So what better way to have more pain than for Paige to do another prompt or another dessert? For Paige to do another dessert. This one is strawberry shortcake. Why am I doing this? It had the least amount of prompts and I had the most amount of ingredients. So we're going to go with it. We already have our flour and our eggs, so we just need sugar, whipped cream, and strawberries. For sugar, the prompt is sweet or a feel-good book. For this prompt, I'm going to choose Tokyo Ever After by Emma Kogen. I don't know much about this one except it's a feel-good book and that a lot of people absolutely love this series. I think, if I remember correctly, it has a lot of Princess Diaries feels. Like, our main character figures out that she's a princess, yada yada yada. Hello, the camera died, but the lens was still, you know, never mind. It looked like we were still recording, but we weren't. Anyways, I chose Tokyo Ever After by Emma Kogen. This is Princess Diaries in which our main character finds out that they're a princess. I'm very excited for this book. A lot of people rave about it, how feel good it is. I'm very excited to get to the feel good. Our next ingredient is whipped cream, and that prompt is whip it up outside of your usual genre. There's not a lot that's outside my usual genre except prose and dark romance. I really don't feel like a dark romance, nor do I have it in my bins in there. So I chose Nothing Burns as Bright as You by Ashley Woodfolk. This was the April Rainbow Crate book box, and Jamie, who's the creator of Rainbow Crate, absolutely loves this book. And because I'm good friends with Jamie, I want to give this book a good chance. It's written in prose, and it's a friends to lovers romance. There's not much more than I know about this book except that it's queer, obviously, but very excited for it nonetheless. And the last ingredient is strawberries, which is Keep Fresh, published within the last 12 months. So I chose And They Lived by Stephen Salvatore. This was published back in March, and it is a non-binary rep. It was a Rainbow Crate book box. It was a Rainbow Crate book as well, so very excited to read this. I'm very excited for the non-binary rep because I have been severely lacking in non-binary rep in my personal goals for 2022. So yeah, that is everything that I'm hoping to read in June. As we stated before, I'm a hot mess and I like to inflict pain upon myself. So by doing this, it is painful. I still am reading all the Medieval-a-thon books from May. I don't know where I'm at with that currently because I have 2 days left in May. It's not looking good for me though. But when is it ever? Anyways, that is everything that I got for June. Thank goodness. So yeah, that is everything. So thank y'all for watching. See y'all later. Bye.